everyone. This is Rosalina.
And this is Shauna. And we're your hosts for Too Young for This Shit podcast.
This podcast is not just about boobs, but our journey with cancer. We are young millennials, open about giving you our raw and unfiltered look into our lives. We are in no way medical professionals, nor are we offering medical advice. Any medical references are cited directly from public websites or from our personal diagnosis. Some topics and stories may be triggering to those who are fighting, have fought, or have loved someone with cancer. Welcome to our podcast, Too Young for This Shit. Seriously. We want to introduce ourselves. So I guess I'll just go first. Hey everyone, I'm Rosalina. I'm 28 years old. I'm originally from New Jersey. Any East Coast people out there? Holler. After college, I moved to Seattle, so I lived there for about 5 years, and now I currently reside in sunny LA.
Hi, I'm Shauna. I'm 32, originally from Long Island, but currently reside in Queens, New York. East Coast, NYC.
Another person from the East Coast.
Yes.
So, Shauna, how did we meet?
So we met, like most millennials our age do, on the internet. We met in the Young Survivor Coalition Facebook support group, which is a support group for young survivors, or AYAs, that are dealing with breast cancer. So basically any woman under the age of 39 is invited into this Facebook group.
Yeah, I thought, why don't we just bring our journeys together and talk about it on a podcast, especially since we've caught this pretty early on. We wanted to share this with our young audience who are probably going through the same thing as well. So, that kind of brings into, what brought us into doing this and what we're trying to accomplish.
Exactly. And we really wanted to document our journey and kind of help anyone that's battling through breast cancer. But we also want to raise awareness to adolescents and young adults who haven't found many breast cancer resources or like a sense of community. It's hard for women our age. It's not as common. So it's hard to find somebody on your level that's your age that relates to what you're going through.
We know that this diagnosis could be isolating and overwhelming, and another reason why we created this podcast is we hope it provides you just with value and education and just a sense of not feeling alone, because this type of diagnosis, you can feel really isolated and alone, especially because we're so young and it's uncommon. Another reason why it's so great to meet Shauna too, because we're going through chemotherapy together at the same time. So just knowing that there's someone else going through it exactly like me, I think it's really special too.
Yes, definitely. And even just, just having somebody to shoot a text to and be like, are you feeling this too?
Yeah.
It's nice. I definitely don't feel as alone as I did in the beginning of my breast cancer journey. We really just want to provide that same type of support to other young women dealing with the same thing. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. If our stories can help anybody, that's the main goal. So we're going to give you some brief descriptions of some of the terminology that you hear on this podcast. Bear with us. We will provide the websites to our show notes for anyone that wants some more detailed information. But we're going to start off with, so you found a lump and you saw your doctor and it's confirmed. Your doctor will send you for a mammogram and ultrasound to determine if the lump is indeed something serious. The radiologist will then determine whether or not to move forward with a biopsy. A biopsy is a procedure that collects a sample of your tissue or fluid either through a needle or during surgery. The sample is then sent to a pathologist to be examined. The pathologist creates a report describing your cancer diagnosis. The types of breast cancer can be classified in your report are ductal carcinoma in situ, known as DCIS, invasive ductal carcinoma, IDC, lobular carcinoma in situ, known as LCIS, invasive lobular cancer, known as ILC, triple negative breast cancer, inflammatory breast cancer, known as IBC, and metastatic breast cancer, also known as stage 4 cancer.
Another part of your pathology report concludes your receptor status: estrogen receptor, progesterone receptor, human epidermal growth factor receptor 2, or they may say that your breast cancer is triple negative or triple positive. So for the hormone receptors, which are known as the estrogen and progesterone receptors, they are proteins found in your cancer cells that, of course, what I mentioned before, that allows your hormone to attach and feed the cancer cells. Human epidermal growth factor receptor 2, also known as HER2, is a protein involved in normal cell growth, which may also be present on the breast cancer cells. So when you receive that pathology report, they provide a percentage, whether you are more hormone positive, or you're more HER2 positive, or whether one of the other could be a negative as well. Another portion of your pathology report is the staging, the grade level, and your proliferation rates. With the staging, there are 3 different letters they assign a number to, which is T for tumor, N for nodes, and M for metastasis. With the T, they assign a number by the size of the tumor. With the letter N, they assign a number of how many lymph nodes were involved. And the letter M involves if the cancer has spread or metastasized. So once those numbers have been assigned, then you will get more information into your staging. When we look into the grade of the breast cancer, that basically classifies whether the cancer is slow growing or aggressive, and that is numbered from 1 to 3. 1 being the lowest slow growing cancer, where grade 3 is the more aggressive type. And lastly, the proliferation rate just provides information about how fast the cancer cells are dividing. And so most doctors use a measurement called Ki-67. So a low Ki-67 percentage just means that the cells are slowly growing, whereas a high Ki-67 percentage means that the cells are quickly dividing. So now that you got all that information, we know that was a lot, trust me, because it was a lot for us too. But we just wanted to get you educated a bit of what the terminology is before we get into our journey and, talk about the terminologies of what we found in our cancer.
Exactly. And again, we'll post all of the websites in the show notes, so anybody who didn't follow that can look it up and easily understand what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to really go into all the insane, intense medical information, but we just wanted to give you all a quick overview. We're excited to air this podcast for you all. We have a lot of really great episodes coming up. This are stories about our lives before breast cancer and our diagnosis, our surgery details, chemo, fertility, our lifestyle changes, kind of it all. We'll be airing new episodes weekly on Thursdays.
And just an FYI, we're not sugarcoating anything. We're going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly of cancer. Just sharing, more about our journey, especially being truthful and honest about what went on. I mean, we've even done voice memos of what we're going through during our time at chemotherapy sessions. You're definitely gonna get really raw and unfiltered.
Hard moments.
Yeah, hard moments.
The hard moments, for sure. I have a few on my phone right now.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
Yikes.
Yeah, so in our near plans, we are also wanting to bring in a diverse group of women to share their experiences as well. So we're definitely looking forward to having you all diving into our lives and hoping for the best for us and for any of you out there as well that are dealing with this too, because again, you're not alone in this.